I know things have happened between us, but you and I are good friends, right? I want to continue to be good friends with you, Stella, so can you please just forgive me for what happened? You have no right telling me that after stealing my fiancé from me. I never stole anyone from you. All that was our destinies aligning. Huh? Destinies aligning? Well, that's what happened, right? If we had all not been going out at the same time and at the same place, something like this would have never happened. And if it wasn't for us seeing one another at work every so often, then we would have never fallen in love. Aren't I right? The fact that you ended up going to the same place for work a few times with Alec is a bit odd, and I guess you could say that it was both of your destinies. But you still knew that he was going out with me. So it was on you for letting him go out with you while he was still with me, right? Before you say that was all part of your destinies, maybe you should think of your morals. I had no choice, Tella. When him and I got closer to each other than we'd ever been before, it only took 3 seconds before we knew that we had to be together. Well then, if you thought you were both made for each other, then you both should have at least broken up with their respective partners before you started dating. Then there wouldn't have been any problems, right? But instead, you went behind your boyfriend's back and Alec went behind mine, and you've both been cheating, and that's a huge problem. Well, that was just because we didn't have time to tell anyone, so you can't blame this on me. You literally just stole my fiancé from me, and you still don't feel like you've done anything wrong? I don't care how many times you ask for forgiveness later, I'm not looking back at you. I get that you're never going to forgive either of us, but Stella, do you think you can at least give the speech at my wedding when we make the date? Huh? Speech? We've had that promise for the longest time now, right? We made the promise that when one of us gets married, the other person has to give a speech at their wedding. You think right now's the best time to be bringing that up? Well, you know the both of us very well, so I just thought it'd be best if you gave the speech. That'd make both Alec and I very happy. So you'll give the speech at the wedding, right? We're best friends after all. I don't have the heart to continue calling someone my best friend after they've stolen my fiancé. You should go ask someone else to give that speech. I don't think I'll be able to find anyone else. I'm sure that you're just shocked right now, after being thrown away by Alec and all, anyway. I was thrown away? So how about you just take a little time to yourself to calm down a bit, and then we can talk about this again and have the wedding. What are you talking about? I will make sure to wait as long as I can for you to be understanding of us and for you to make it to our wedding to celebrate. I just thought it'd be the right thing to do after how long we've been friends. What are you going on about? No matter how much time you give me to think about all of this and settle down, it'll never be enough to get me to celebrate the two of you getting married. And the reason for that is obvious, right? I think you're better off just preparing yourself for what comes next. You're all right. You don't have to continue to be that upset about this. I understand you completely. I know how you feel after having something like this happen to you. I mean, we're best friends after all, and have been for the longest time. Just stop all of that. When we've decided on the date to have the wedding, I'll let you know. I don't want you to talk to me anymore.
I finished moving out. I was really enjoying this house a lot, and was hoping that her and I would be able to live here. But I guess there was no other way. I was the one that messed up in the end. And so me having to leave this place is the right thing to do.
I'm surprised it didn't take you longer to understand that you and her are to blame for all of this. Are you sure you know what all you've done wrong?
Oh, I think I've been a bit mean for what I did while with you. And it's been decided by fate that I should be with Sophia. So to keep you from getting any more upset with us, I left the house. And I'll be paying you back for all the money you put into having our parents meet up at dinner that one time.
And so that means we really are through then.
Well, there's nothing else I can do now.
I want to know why you ended up cheating on me. We had been with each other forever and had been talking about getting married for years now. Yet you started to cheat on me 3 months ago, right? We only just had our parents meet each other last month, so you were even cheating on me then. So you let our parents meet each other knowing very well that I wasn't the girl you loved? So why did you go through all of that instead of just breaking up with me for Sophia?
There were a lot of things going on.
What things? I'm not pissed at you right now for calling off us getting married or anything like that. I'm pissed about you thinking it was okay to be cheating on me during the time we were getting ready to get married, thinking that it would be fine.
The guy that Sophia had been going out with said he didn't want to break up with her.
And you think that's going to be a good excuse for you too?
I told you I had no other choice. She went through a lot to be with me. The man that she was with wanted her to be around him all the time. But he was so selfish and never once thought about how she felt or whether she was happy or not.
But from all my position, you all seem to be very selfish and careless about others' feelings.
Don't get so upset over that.
So that's what happens to make you cheat on me?
I would have been better off with anyone besides you.
Huh? What do you mean?
We had plans for things between us. Like if A was wrong, then we'd go B, and if B was wrong, we'd go C. But you never seemed to follow any of those plans.
We had made plans for getting married and everything, and yet you're getting upset at me for not always abiding by your plans?
Well, luckily I had a plan for this as well. I had multiple that I kept a secret from you and only thought about during work. Those plans were made in case things between you and I didn't work. And luckily, I managed to make one of my secret plans work out for me.
Hold on, Alec. You're not saying there have been other women besides Sophia, right? Right?
There have been.
I cannot believe this right now.
Luckily, it turns out that Sophia was the right one where we both just started off really well when we first met. And then at work, things were really able to heat up. At first, I thought that I should have just stayed with you since you were my plan A, and things were going so well. You could cook, you could clean, and you could maintain a good pay. That's the reason why I was planning to marry you. And then I started to think about the beauty in Sophia, and the fact that she had her special features as well.
What? What do you think of other people, Alec?
I'll let you know this as a way of easing your mind. You and I are over, and that's due to your overstaying your visit with me. Us men are much more into women that have the looks, rather than those that have the skills. And so when I compare you to Sophia, she's off the charts with how beautiful she is as a woman.
And so you decided to choose her over me because of her looks?
I chose her for her looks because that's what will make me happy. Like when you and I go out to eat at a restaurant, you're always going with us some plain old pasta dish that makes you look boring. But with Sophia, she will eat everything but the boring dishes, and it makes her look all exciting and fun.
That's a completely different issue, Alec.
No, that's another thing I think about. You're just boring and plain like a lot of other women. And that's why I ended up going out with someone like Sophia behind your back. But at least I know that what I did was wrong, and that's why I'll make sure to pay you back for all the problems I've made for you. So now you should be happy, and we can be done with this conversation.
Done with it?
You and Sophia have been best friends for a long time now, right? So that means you need to be celebrating your friend's happiness. Even after what's happened, I'd like the two of you to continue being good friends, okay? Well, I've talked long enough. All I really wanted to say to you was that I finished moving out. So I'm finished. Thanks for everything we once had together.
Stella, it's been a little while. I have some things to update you on, okay? Alec and I have made plans for our wedding, and I made sure to send you an invitation in the mail. I got it. Wait, really? Thank goodness. I only knew the address of the place that was supposed to be where Alec and I lived. So since that was the last place I knew you'd been living, I decided to send the invitation there. But I wasn't sure if you were there anymore, and so I was a little worried about if you'd get it or not. Well, I have moved out of that place. Luckily, the mail service realized that that wasn't my house anymore and had the mail redirected to me. Huh, I see. Have you taken a look at the card yet then? Alec and I put a lot of effort into making sure that card came out looking cute. You really didn't have to send me this invitation though. But we promised that you'd be coming to give that speech at the wedding, right? So you really were being serious about having me give that speech then? Well, we had made that promise long ago and had always been talking about it, right? I doubt you'd say no to giving the speech now, right? I mean, you always made it very clear to me ever since elementary school that you'd never break any of our promises, right? But I really don't want to give a speech about someone who has no morals. I made sure to save up a ton of money over this last year, and now we'll be giving an absolutely amazing wedding. We had to end up taking out a little money, but this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, right? And so there was no point in us holding anything back. I think even you'll be blown away by all the decorations when you come. Just make sure that when your time comes, you don't have your wedding here though. This invitation has everything written down on it, like the address and such, but who do I call to say that I'll be coming? We already expect you to come. So you didn't even get an answer from me, yet you just assumed that I'll make it? I know that you'll be coming, right? After all, this is Alec and my wedding that we're talking about. Well, it's for that very reason that I don't actually want to come there at all. Are you saying that you still have some feelings about what happened a year ago? I really thought that with the amount of time you've had, you would have gotten all over that by now. It's been a year, Stella. So just let it go, okay? Alright? I made sure to let that all go, and so did Alec. That's not something you should be saying to me. I get it. I'll take you off the guest list. Guest list? But that means you have to at least give the speech. You made that promise to me, so you have to come for at least that part. And you feel okay leaving me to make a speech up for your wedding? Of course I do. Let me think about that a little and I'll text you later. I believe that you'll be able to give the best speech for us since you're my best friend and are Alec's ex. After this will be your speech. Have you gotten everything ready? Are you feeling a bit nervous? You think now's the good time to be looking at your phone texting me while you're having your wedding going on? Well, it has been a long time now since our little incident, and I know you should be over it by now. And now that I'm so excited to just have you here ready to give the speech, I thought I'd just check up on you to make sure you're doing okay. Well, thanks for worrying about me, but I'm not in any way nervous about the speech. Thank goodness. I hope that you don't back out of this right before you get on stage. You're going to go through with the promise you made for me, right? I made sure to get myself prepared for my best friend's speech, and I've brought a lot of tissues to dry my tears with when it's all over. Of course, you'd better look forward to this. Thank you, Stella. I made sure to call in a special guest as well. A special guest? You said that you were fine with me making up the speech, right? I just asked the staff about them and they said they're coming soon. You'd better listen very closely to this speech, okay? Stella, what are you thinking? And what were you thinking running out of your own wedding before the speech even ended? You're the one that asked for me to do the speech for you, right? I wasn't even able to get all the special guests onto the stage before you run off. What is this whole thing with you and those special guests? I was hoping that this speech was going to be something heartwarming that would make me cry over how happy I am to have you as a friend. Did you not see who all I brought out? They're all the different women that your soon-to-be husband has been cheating on you and I with. Huh? They're all his other women? Well, some of them are also your exes and his exes. What are you talking about? Well, the man you had been with a year ago came out on stage. You had run away from him right before the two of you were supposed to get married to steal Alec from me. But there are others here now, and they're all your current flings and affairs. One of them is the guy you bring with you when you go on trips to Mexico, since Alec doesn't handle spicy foods all too well. There's also the other guy that you bring with you when you go to shopping for clothing and accessories. Wait a second, why? Why do you know about all of them? Well, the person that I began to talk with after you took Alec away from me was your ex-boyfriend, and it seems that he was able to find all sorts of people you've had relationship with. And he told me everything I needed to know about you. About me? Wait, but why? This was to allow the both of us to make sure that we can get a settlement from you guys for everything you did to me and your ex. Huh? I had always been suspicious of you, though. I really wanted to know why you and Alec decided to run from me and your ex so fast. And even though we knew you both had been dating behind our backs, it was hard to figure anything out about you two because you were so good at keeping secrets. And I told you the reason we left you guys was to do various things. Alec told me that the reason he took you was because your boyfriend was selfish and wanted you around him 24/7. But that's not the truth at it at all, is it? The real reason was because you had no money of your own after leaving your job, and so you continued to rely on your boyfriend at the time for money. You knew that by breaking up with him, you'd have no money to get a place of your own, right? And so to save money, you stayed with him while going out with Alec. Why do you know all about that? Remember that I've been talking with your ex about all of this, and I'm aware the reason you've had the man you go shopping with behind everyone's back is so that you don't have to use any of your own money because he'll pay for you. He told you that? I've made sure to talk to all your men. We had to see how many men you've been going around with and pleasing to make sure we had enough evidence for when your ex plans on getting his settlement from you. Then what's with those women that were coming on stage with you? Those would be the women that Alec keeps around as his fallback plans. Fallback plans? In other words, women he's been going out with. A year ago, Alec was telling me about how he had other women that he could use in case things didn't work out. You had all your men with you for different reasons, like for going shopping or going on vacations to Mexico. Well, Alec had all his other women with him in case you and him didn't work out. What the hell? He's made sure that if, on the off chance you did end up a failure in his eyes, he'd have 5 other women to choose from so that they could meet his current needs. And because of that, at times, if you're not doing well in bed, or are not going out with him to certain places he wants to go, he'll go out with one of them instead. 5 other women? So you're saying that besides you and I, he has 3 others? Well, the women I have with me right now are the ones he had as fallback plans a year ago, but I'm sure now he has newer women to fall back on. He was planning on marrying me? So why would he have other women with him if he's chosen me? Well, I'll be honest, I'm not sure what he's thinking by marrying you. This is screwed up. And so now that you're all caught up, I made sure that each and every one of these people had a speech ready for you, all for the sake of the newly married couple. Wait! What are they all going to say? They're just going to talk about what any other reason would say during their speech. They'll talk about what kind of relationship you guys will have after getting married, and they'll think about what kind of people the two of you will turn into, and I'm sure at the end, they'll talk about the relationship they had with you guys that led them to this wedding. And once all of that is over, the speech will be done. Wait, if they talk about the relationship they've had with us, all of our guests here will know the truth. And that doesn't mean just me, but Alec as well. Oh, are you guys really going to be embarrassed by everyone finding out about the people you really are and what you've both been doing? All of them are the people we've been with behind each other's back. Of course we'll be embarrassed. But you said it would be okay for me to make this speech for you two. So I made sure that this speech would be like any other wedding speech. I just took a template from online and had each one of them fill it out of the truth. You're kidding! What am I going to do about this? Well, I need to get back to upholding my end of the promise, and then after that, we'll be going. Wait a second, Stella! You've started to ruin all of the wedding. You come and take care of all this right now. Hey, Stella! It's because of you that my wedding was a failure. Because of me? It's because of us both learning about our other partners that Alec and I are now divorced. And right now we're trying to figure out which one of us is going to pay for all that wedding. And what makes this all worse is that our parents aren't even bothering to help us. All of my savings went into paying for my dress and all my stylists. I have nothing left now. Is that so? Well, having a lot of savings is pretty more important for a wedding, huh? Don't start lecturing me on all that stuff now. It's because of you that both my wedding and my marriage are now gone. And the house we've been living in is under Alec's name, so he's asking me to leave. But I don't have any money to move out to anywhere. And when I tried to move back in with my parents, they told me they never wanted to see me again. Well, that is pretty tough, isn't it? I'm sorry to bring this up during your difficult times, but a year ago today, Alec and I were planning to get married. Why would you say that now? I now know that you were with Alec while he was cheating on me at that time, so I was wondering if it would be okay for me to get money from you for ruining my life. Huh? Like a settlement? I just thought I'd get my money from you now since your ex is doing the same thing with the both of you. Don't you dare do that! Why do you think it's alright to ask me to pay you anything right now? I just assumed I have the right to. Well, all of that happened over a year ago now, right? Well, did your ex or I ever say that we were over any of that yet? You seriously haven't yet? You and Alec were the only two that decided that we should have just been over it as easily as you both were. But unlike you and Alec, your ex and I were hurt very badly by what you both did. And so now it's our turn to make sure you both learn your lessons. I was just told by my parents that they don't want to see me and I'd have no money for a home. Yet you still think it's okay to ask me for money? I don't have any money to pay you. If so, you're just going to destroy me. That's okay. In order not to destroy you, I'll make sure you can pay the settlement off over time in smaller payments. But we haven't even decided on who's going to be paying for the whole wedding yet. Well, that's both of your responsibility, so I don't care too much about that. But you're my best friend. Well, up until a year ago. And I apologize for what happened in the past. That was not the kind of problem that it could be solved with an apology, Sophia. You're a freaking adult now, so you should have known that. I think right now you shouldn't be wasting any time with me and should be using it to find yourself a job. Come on, Stella. You're really going to try and get a settlement from me? Stella, I'm your best friend, so you should be able to understand the trouble I'm going through. We're best friends, right? Help me. I was able to get a settlement made from what Alec and Sophia did to me a year ago. Alec was able to pay me in one full payment. And as for Sophia, she's going to be paying me over time. And as for the aftermath of the wedding, Alec had a lot of guests there from work and those that were his friends. But over time now, they've all started to say goodbye to him due to all his cheating and the way he handled all those women. The only other thing I know about him now is that he's moved away somewhere far to try and run away from his mistakes. As for Sophia, she has left any ties she had with her old company behind and is now working part-time work